In my video named 7 Signs a Gifted Person Struggles with Depression, I told you that gifted people may be more susceptible to existential depression than non-gifted people. Why is that? Well, maybe it's our ability to think at a higher level, or the fact that we gifted question what others take as givens. Whatever the reason is, in this video, I want to ask this imperative question. What can you do if you notice that a gifted person suffers from existential depression? Let's find out. Of course, offering support is a great way to start. When you do, it's important to acknowledge what the person is going through and point out what you're observing without being critical. Sometimes there's a stigma associated with an existential crisis, that it's a bad thing, so you might want to point out that this period can also mean opportunity, growth, and redirection toward the things the gifted person feels good about in life. Chances are that my last tip won't work though, because there's no simple solution to existential depression, particularly because there are no simple answers to the questions people who struggle with it will be asking themselves and others. Still, as I just touched upon, there are a number of things you can do to support someone who's experiencing existential depression as a gifted adult or adolescent. Firstly, providing a solid support system is imperative, and if you're out of options, the help of a professional should always be recognized as the best option, especially if the gifted person who's depressed is experiencing some of the more serious symptoms. Secondly, what you should not do is that you should definitely not disregard or blindly reassure someone who's dealing with existential depression. It's better to validate their feelings. Don't try to think up silver linings. It'll make them feel more understood if you recognize their concerns. Thirdly, you can take an active approach too. If the gifted person has a very negative perception of the world, maybe do something together to try and help out, like donating to a charity or do some community service together. Helping others will help them feel a bit better too and help them see that the world isn't all bad, rather than just trying to convince them verbally. Finally, above all though, the gifted person should speak to a medical health professional if they're struggling with existential depression. You can only help them so much through your support, but therapy or some other type of professional treatment could be what they need. But let's say the gifted person is a child. What do you do then? If you're a parent or educator to a gifted child, here are some tips what you can do if the gifted child shows the following 5 symptoms. 1. Strong reactions to criticism, which can induce feelings of helplessness. Here, it's important to avoid criticizing behaviors which are a part of the child's personality. So, if the child is too sensitive, too intense, or too inquisitive, don't criticize that. 2. The child is overly critical of themselves. Here, it's a good thing to help the child practice resiliency skills. That means practicing being persistent and tolerant for error or frustration, and to teach them positive self-talk. 3. The child shows frustration and anger with achievements. If the child experiences this, try providing opportunities to master tasks which become progressively more difficult, to promote success and optimism and minimize feelings of helplessness, and identify ways to appropriately channel or manage anger and feelings. 4. The child produces negative self-talk and shows low self-esteem. If this is the case, help the child set reasonable standards for themselves. 5. The child shows sadness, unhappiness, or grief that lasts longer than 2 weeks, which includes widespread loss of interest, withdrawal, less energy, lack of appetite, lack of sleep, and difficulty concentrating. In this case, there is only one thing you can do, and that is to seek professional or medical assistance. In cases where existential depression is accompanied by suicidality, professional care becomes paramount. Whether the person who suffers from existential depression is a child or adult, existential depression can be difficult to treat. In many cases, for you as a bystander, it may be helpful to try and support someone as they explore meaning and spirituality by letting them ask themselves difficult questions about life. The typical goal of treating disease to cure may not hold for existential depression. Instead, the goal is often about validating the questions being asked about life while reducing the accompanying despair. If seeking professional or medical assistance is your only option, I want to tell you that due to existential crisis being so common in specific settings like hospices, palliative care units, etc., professionals have made efforts to identify specific treatments which may help. Meaning-centered psychotherapy, or MCP, is one such treatment. MCP is designed to focus on countering the belief that life is meaningless. The end goal is to have people develop a sense of meaning which helps them navigate their existential crisis and alleviate some of the associated distress. Therapy, which allows for a guided exploration of life's big questions while addressing any associated despair and hopelessness, can offer a way out of an enduring existential crisis. So the goal of treating existential depression is to help a person live meaningfully. Giving life meaning can make suffering, loss, and the randomness of life more tolerable. Being aware that many other people struggle with the same questions can also often be a great comfort to those in the midst of a crisis of meaning. Whatever treatment people who suffer from existential depression are offered, they are taught that existential issues are not ones that can be dealt with only once, but rather ones that will need frequent revisiting and reconsideration. So the bottom line is that you and professionals can help the one with existential depression if you can get them to realize they are not alone, and if you can help them realize there is always hope, love, and understanding. This information came from these websites. You'll find these links below this video. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel and watch this series from the start. Next Friday, I'll be back with a little surprise for you. Yes, again. Till then, I only want to say 3 things. Thank you for watching. Take care and bye for now.